We talked about this this group of migrants, 1,200, marching to America, and the BuzzFeed reporter that's going along with them reporting on it. It's a group called, when you translate it, A World Without Borders or People Without Borders. And they're marching to the U.S. border because they want in and they want to make a statement with a reporter touting what they're doing. Well, we gave a call into Brandon Judd. He's the president of the National Border Patrol Council. He's on the phone. Brandon, we want to get your take. This group headed to the border. We don't know when they may arrive. But as far as legality, as far as how they would be handled, some are seeking asylum. Some say they want to sneak over the border. How will the Border Patrol react to this group of 1,200 approaching the border eventually?
Well, I think there's a couple things that you have to look at that are very important. First off, you have got a Mexican government entity that is assisting these individuals to come up to the United States. That's Grupo Beta. These individuals do not have passports or legal documents to be in Mexico, yet you've got a Mexican agency that's helping them get to our border. You've got Sin Fronteras, which is a quote-unquote humanitarian group that's helping them get to the border. They should be prosecuted here in the United States. So there's a lot of things that are going on. But when they come to the United States, when they cross the border illegally, the reason that they openly do it is because they know that the catch and release program continues today. When we catch them, we'll arrest them, we'll take them into custody, we'll take them back to our stations, we'll process them, and we'll set them up for deportation proceedings. But they'll never see those deportation proceedings, because what happens is we'll transfer them over to the custody of the Immigration Customs Enforcement, which is ICE. They'll then process them, and they'll release them with a notice to appear, in which they're supposed to present themselves before an immigration judge about 2 years from now. But they never show up for their deportation proceedings.
Wait a minute, Brandon. So I think what most people watching the story are thinking is, why can't you just stop them from entering in the first place? Because it's against the law.
Because once they enter the country, so even if we're standing at the border with our hands out saying don't enter, all they have to do is cross 1 foot into the border, and we have to then take them into custody. And if they ask for asylum, or if they say, I fear to go back to my country, then we have to process them under that quote-unquote credible fear, which then allows them to be released into our country. And what's funny about this is President Obama used to say, well, they're hiding in the shadows. Well, all we're doing is going to release about 1,200 people that are then going to go hide in the shadows again. They're going to wait for an immigration reform, and they're going to create havoc and chaos. I mean, how many times do we have to hear stories of United States citizens being killed by people that are here illegally before we actually do something?
It strikes me as a convoluted and very long process. Brennan, very briefly, how should this change to bring security to this country?
Well, there's a couple things that we have to do. We have to change the law. Our legislators actually have to stand up, and the Republicans control the House and the Senate. They do not need the Democrats' support to pass any laws that they want. They can go the nuclear option, just like what they did on the confirmations. They need to pass laws to end the catch and release program that will allow us to hold them for a long time. They need to create more bed space for ICE to hold these individuals. And frankly, we have to follow through on President Trump's rhetoric. The Border Patrol in 2017, we saw these huge drops, and the Border Patrol agents, they affectionately call it the Trump effect. Well, that Trump effect is now gone because the agencies and the Obama holdovers, they haven't followed through on his vision.
All right, we'll follow this march closely. Brandon Judd, a really great perspective
Very important
on this incredibly important issue.
Thank you for the
so
work
much.
you do, Brandon.
Thanks, Brandon.